Okay, so I had to react to this. Cardi B sits down with Joe Biden, and I just thought that there's gonna be some good points that she makes and that he makes, and some interesting things coming up. So I wanted to get on top of it and talk and see, like, you know what I mean, what they say. You feel me? So let's start. Alright. So off rip.
Oh snap! It's getting real.
How you doing?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Alright, so first of all, she starts off by saying hi Biden. I don't know, that's like low key, like it's not disrespectful, cause you know I know she ain't trying to disrespect him. She's just hype, but she's just talking like the way they talk at home. I mean, which is literally what Cardi B is about, talking in public, how she talk at home, no filter, no change, no nothing. She is who she is from whether she in the crib or whatever. And I'm sure he gonna correct her though.
How are you? The name's Joe.
Oh right.
Well, hello there, Joe.
As a matter of fact,
nervous.
why don't you meet my daughter, the love of my life, the life of my love. She's a fan of yours.
Hi, how are you?
This is
How are
Ashley.
you? Good, how you doing?
Right.
You know the
I'm
nickname
good,
she
Joe.
gave her father when she was growing up?
What's
She
his
called me
name?
Joey B. So we
Yeah.
may be related or something.
Yeah,
Alright,
Cardi
so
B and Joey B.
Alright, so they had that joke queued up for a long time, and it is that canvas behind it is kind of fire, but they had that joke pinned up for a long time. Yeah, it didn't hit with me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, huge
Kinda
fan.
like-
Like,
it's
nobody
too
knows
forced in
why.
the
How you
joke.
doing? I feel so crazy because I feel like I'm a little bit late. But Biden, let me tell you something. When you have kids my age,
Yo, he corrected her on the joke thing, and she went back to Biden. That's funny.
like the one my age, 2 years old, your schedule never go as planned. You know what I'm saying?
You're telling
I
me?
went-
Alright.
I got 4 kids, 5 grandkids. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an expert. I understand about kids. The most important thing in the world.
They zoomed in
They
on
come
him.
first.
They come first. He's ODing, like that's a politician. Like you were trying to. Joe loves the kids.
Yes, definitely. Always.
Look at that smile. I
kid
don't
come
trust that
first.
smile right there. It's a fake
Keep it that way.
smile.
So, Joe, I heard you got some
Let me see. Let me
questions
see if I smile.
for me.
Oh, I do have some questions for you. First of all, I want to congratulate you.
Mm-hmm.
The cover of I tell you, that's pretty good. That's pretty.
Whenever you talk to somebody like Cardi B who come from humble beginnings and she came up and she pulled herself up from her own bootstraps and fought for her success in front of the world, like you gotta congratulate her when you meet her and when you see her. Like you just got to. You feel me?
Big time. Number one, doesn't surprise me. You're on the cover. But number two,
Yeah.
thanks for your generosity dealing with people who are suffering from COVID. We, there's so many people who needlessly are in trouble, who are needlessly have died when they didn't have to, if we had taken the precautions we needed to. And
All right. So he's saying that, and I don't know if that's true or not because the whole world is going through it and people are dying all over the world. It's not just America. Of course, America is seeing it the worst, but I feel like it's because we have the most connection to other countries out there. Like we have the most imports and exports. I'm assuming that's not a fact, but I'm just saying like America is like, you know, a big player in the world, and you know, you just got a lot. You know, you can't compare the number of people who die in America to the number of people who die in like a country like Finland, where there's like it's like as big as like 3 of our states. You know what I'm saying? So,
thank you. You have a generous
and that's a shot at Trump.
heart. You have a generous heart.
So he throwing
And
shots.
what I wanted to know was, tell me what's your main interest in terms of
That's a
this
good
election?
question to start
I
with.
have a whole list of things that I want and I wish and I
Okay.
desire for our next.
I guarantee you that her list is gonna be mostly about things that you hear about in the media. She's not about to put you up on nothing that you ain't know about, like, yo, this happened and the media didn't cover it. She's gonna just regurgitate to you what everybody has been trying to brainwash you to think for the past for many years. You know what I'm saying?
next president to do for us. But first thing first, let me keep it a buck. I just want Trump out.
Okay,
You know
that's
what I'm
real.
saying?
A
I
lot
just
of
feel
people
like
start to feel
his
like that.
mouth gets us in trouble so much. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want, like, you know, we're dealing with a pandemic right now, right?
Okay.
And I just want answers. I want to know when this is over. Like, you know, I want to go back to my
It look like Joe's he's like struggling to like concentrate and not zone out. That's why they call him Sleepy Joe. And he probably could barely understand. You know what's funny about this? he probably has, cause he's not from like where like we from. He's out of probably out of touch. So he's probably having a hard time even understanding Cardi B. He probably either needs like a prep on these questions, which he probably has already, or he needs a translator.
My job.
Even though she's speaking English, he's probably just, first of all, he probably hard of hearing, all types of things. He's up there in age.
I want to be able to go outside. I want to be able not to feel like I'm trapped in my home.
Well, he's trying hard to listen.
But I don't want somebody to lie to me and tell me that it's okay to go outside. It's okay not to wear a mask. That everything is going to be okay. No, I want like a timeline of when things are going to get better.
Okay.
I want
Cardi's spitting.
the president to tell me what are the steps for us to get better. Besides,
So when you want the president to tell you what the steps are to get better, when nobody really has the steps all across the world and the earth, you're asking to be lied to. You're asking that you want a plan of if we do this and this and that, which is what's going on with the face mask right now. We're going to wear the face mask and we're going to go into phase 1 and 2 and 3, and none of the phases matter, because the virus is doing what it want to do. It's like a virus. It's an invisible bully. You know what I'm saying?
Taking precautions like with our masks and quarantining. I need somebody to tell me like, this is gonna be over when we find this cure. This is why it's taking so long.
Got
this
those
is why
answers,
other
Cardi.
countries are doing better than ours when it comes to this pandemic. I need somebody to tell me the truth, the hardcore truth. And also, I of course want free Medicare, and this is why it's important.
Okay, so she's going now into free Medicare, which I'm not sure if Joe is about that. Actually, I'm not sure if Joe's about the same things that Obama was about. Maybe he's running on different principles. We don't know yet, because every time I really see this election thing going on, it's more about how black people feel about Trump. Like, I feel like that's the only angle that you see in the media. I don't know if it's because I'm black, so that's what I'm getting, and other people who are different races are getting other things. But the media is coming to me. We don't even talk about what Biden is gonna do, like as far as his stance on those things.
Important to have free Medicare, because look what's happening right now. You see why we should have been have free Medicare for a long time. I of course think that we need free college education. That's second, and I want black people to stop getting killed.
Okay,
and
so more media.
No justice for it. I'm tired of it.
Okay.
I'm tired of it. I just want more stricter laws that is fair to black citizens.
I feel like the media really kind of tells us what to care about. You know what I mean? And then you choose what side you are on those things. But like, she's not talking from her own mind. She's talking from, these are the main points that I always see, and this is the side of it I'm on. Like, I know healthcare is a thing. I want free Medicare, or free healthcare. Really is what she wants to say. And then it's like, she said something about having free college. She want free everything. Like, what are we doing here?
Fair for cops too. If you kill somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them, you go to jail. You know what? If I kill somebody, I gotta go to jail. Right. You gotta go to jail too.
Okay,
that's all I want.
She just did something that Biden. She just whatever it is that she does, and it looked like he's trying to catch up and figure out what she just said.
And it's so sad that a pandemic has to happen
right now,
so people could open their eyes on seeing.
I guarantee you, she said all of that, and he's gonna grab onto like maybe one thing that he was able to somewhat understand.
What type of person are they dealing with? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're really confusing the people. Like, one day you're telling them that this is nothing, that people need to stop getting tested because they're gonna get it anyways. Next thing you know, you have a mask in your face, and you're really playing games, not with us, not the woke. You're playing games with the people that support you. All of this has to happen. This crazy stuff that had to happen so they could open their eyes for the past 4 years.
Well, it doesn't have to happen. For example, in 2016, if 18 to 23 or 4-year-olds have voted in the same percentage as the rest of the population, we would have had Hillary Clinton, not him. The vote matters. That's why you keep talking to people.
So they're telling me the younger people who are usually less experienced The dumb is you want more young people to go out and vote when they're not really tuned in to what's going on. A lot of things a lot of them don't even work at that age. They don't even make money, so it's like they're not tuned into really how things really affect you. With like you know what I mean? Like I don't know how I feel about 18 and 19, 20 year olds voting. Like let's keep it funky. Like it's cool. Everybody should vote, yes, but at the end of the day, like I don't think that's a strong pillar to stand on. And he ignored everything she just said and went into his own spiel, which also makes me think that maybe he didn't understand everything.
All
She
about
said.
the need to vote. The vote
Yes.
matters. It matters a great deal. And so we got to look, the
This is not a
generation,
conversation.
your generation and
This
the young
is she talking
millennials
and he
beyond
talking.
that, they can own this. They can own this outcome. And they can own what happens in the next election. They are the ones that can change things dramatically if they show up and vote. Tell me what your fans most say to you when they communicate with you online. What are they most concerned about?
Yo, this dude didn't even say that if he's for any of the things that she's talking about. I mean, the only thing he nodded his head at when she was talking was when she said I want keep it a buck, I want Trump out.
Obviously free college education, free Medicare, especially now that people are just getting sick left to right, and that's why I keep telling people, because sometimes people have problems in their community. They just wonder, like for example, a lot of after school programs that I was growing up with, there's no after school programs a lot anymore in my hood.
That's right.
And
Nowhere.
it's like people are just wondering why.
Okay, so he says nowhere. He's wilding. But I like that now Cardi's starting to talk about like her experience and where she's from and what she cares about or in there and not something that she heard on TV or what they've been trying to push to everybody.
Why? Why is that?
Because people don't want to pay the taxes for it. And
Ooh.
that's why this whole thing about
Woo! 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 That was a good answer. That was almost a Republican answer. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we have these things anymore? Because people don't want to pay the taxes for it. Wow. But you know what? Somebody else would say like yeah, people don't want, but the money is there, and you guys are allocating it to military and this and that, and allocating it to the police, which is why they want to defund the police and take some of that money and move it around to different sectors. But let's see what you guys say.
government's bad has been such a downer for the things that really matter to you and me. I was doing very well as a single dad when my wife and daughter got killed. And I had two boys that survived that accident. I didn't have the money to have someone take care of my kids. Thank God I had my sister and my brother and my mother who helped me. My sister moved in with me with she and her husband. But look at all the people that don't have that kind of help.
And you want to know something? Talking to you, I'm always so focused on Medicare and college education. And I never really thought about how important is childcare. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like nobody's more motivated than a mom. Nobody want to go and hustle out there and get that money for the kid. Once you become a mom, you changed completely. Your mindset changed completely. But it's like,
I don't know about moms because I'm not a mom, but I am a father, and my daughter, like, having her there is definitely it's always on my mind for me to set her up before she hit 18 and she goes out to the world as a woman.
how are you supposed to do that when you probably don't have a babysitter for your kid? And I'm like, fortunately for me, I'm able to, have my mom take care of my child. But a lot of people, like, it's like their mom cannot retire and take care of their kids. Like, their mom
Exactly
have to work too.
One of the things that I admire.
Listen though, one thing is though, like in communities like me, like I'm from the islands, and in that community, like the older people are around. Right? I mean, even in America, like the older, when you stay around the older generation, they're there to help raise their grandchildren, and usually, like, not the mother, but the grandmother will help raise the child. You know what I'm saying? Like the grandchild, and that's usually what goes on. But I feel like people like to leave their families, leave their homes, and leave the support system. So when you leave that support system, you can't really push that support system onto the government. You know what I mean? And you really don't want random government low funded programs watching your children like when they're young.
About you is you keep talking about what I call equity, just decency, fairness, treating people with respect. John Lewis used to say, the vote is the most powerful non-violent tool you have. Use the power to change for the change
He's just
you
on
want
here like vote,
by
vote,
voting.
vote.
Look,
Because he
I'm
knows
a
he's
lot
talking
older
to
than you,
people
to
that
state
hate
the
him.
obvious. When I was in high school, that what happened was we had the civil rights movement was just being started. And what happened? Along came Bull Connor and his dogs. He thought he was going to drive a wooden stake into the heart of the civil rights movement. But when all those folks who never realized, never saw before what was happening in the South, they lived in places where there were very few black people, didn't know any black people. All of a sudden they saw Bull Connor with dogs ripped.
It's funny. This is a long-winded story. I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about right now. But I do know that Cardi is going back and forth almost like a kid, like where she's waiting for the end and the point, and she's probably zoned out and trying to figure out what he, you know what I mean? Like, you ever know when you talk to somebody and you trying to listen, but then you zoned out, and so like you're like, oh, dad, I don't even know what they talking about. But then you got to say, yeah, at the end. Watch. Let's see.
Ripping off the clothes of black women, elderly women going to church, and kids being knocked down with fire hoses and their skin being ripped off. All of a sudden, as Dr. King said, we had the second emancipation. We had the Voting Rights Act and we had the Civil Rights Act. It changed things because people said, oh my God, that's happening. I think I heard you say somewhere along the line what I've been saying. This cell phone has...
He says, I think I heard you say something that he's been saying, because he doesn't know what she's saying. And then now he's going to say something that she probably didn't even say. He said the cell phone
changed America.
Changed America.
Because what happens now? We're at a point where some brave kid, 15 years old, can stand there and for a total of 8 minutes and 46 seconds take a photograph of a black man whose family I know and met with and understand and spent time with and watched him brutally murdered. And people around the world were saying, my God, it really happens? Because I'm not in a neighborhood like that. I don't come from a place. And now, guess what? They're demanding change.
Like people, we're not asking for sympathy. We're not asking for charity. We are just asking for equality.
We
are asking fairness, and we are asking for justice. That is all. I feel like everything that people are asking for is getting interpreted in a very different way. No, it's simple. We just want justice. That's all. We want justice. We want to feel like Americans. We want equality.
Treat me with respect.
Right.
Yes, with respect.
Respect. That's where I think you're seeing a real... Look, I have a friend who is a congressman in Mississippi, Benny Thompson, and a very well-known congressman, an African-American. He called me 2 weeks ago. He said, Joe, I just came from a protest in Mississippi.
Right.
He said, and I looked out there, and there were I forget how many people. He said there was many white kids marching as black kids. This is Mississippi, Joe.
Right.
Things are changing, Joe.
Things are changing.
The reason I'm so optimistic is because of your generation. You're the smartest, the best educated, the least prejudiced, and the most engaged generation in American history. And you're going to change things. You're going to change them. You're the reason I have such incredible hope. I really mean it. I'm not trying to be nice. It's a fact.
What?
That's what's going to change things. The rest of the world's always looked to us. Why have they looked to us? Not because we're so powerful, but the power of our example. Look what they're seeing now with this president. He's literally promoting hatred, promoting prejudice, promoting racism, talking about protecting the Confederate flag when Mississippi takes it off their flag and he's defending it. He's talking about I mean, what?
Agendas.
This is all
this is
about.
What I see. I don't see no. This is not in the conversation.
Game of making people hate each other, because that's how he wins, by dividing us. You're going to change it. Your generation is changing. You already are doing it.
The new generation, my fans, my people, that is like, this is why we have to go out and vote. I know that the young generation right now with social media, we are just so eager to make money, to look a certain type of way, to have style, celebrity gossip. And it's like, why don't we
One thing about I gotta say about Cardi B is that she understands the average American. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say like, like teenager and young adult. You feel me? She definitely understands what drives them and what motivates them. That's one thing about Cardi. That's what I gotta say.
make a change for real and just vote?
In the primaries, they kept saying, well, there's not that many people voting. Biden's not going to excite anybody. We had the largest turnout in the primaries ever. People are
She making me
ready.
dizzy.
They're ready, and they know.
She going back and forth like this. It's just like, what is she orbiting around? Where's the gravity? Is the gravity?
No, we can change it. But look, there's a lot, but we really rely on people like you. And let me tell you something. The American people have never, ever, ever let their country down, given half a chance. Never. And they've been battered by corporate America. They've been battered by this president particularly. And the way in which he's able to continue to divide it, he appeals to the outright prejudice of some of those in that community that don't have any money. And he just appeals to their prejudice. He spews hate. We gotta stop it.
Look,
Prejudice, it's just so
Joe Biden kind of look like Mr. Burns on the law, right, from The Simpsons.
dangerous. Like, it could be a start of a civil war. It makes people feel uncomfortable around different people. Nobody wants to feel targeted. Nobody wants animosity.
Right.
We just want the best for us. Everybody wants the best for themselves, their
That's
future,
exactly
and their
right.
kids' future.
That's true.
I don't want to live to tell my kids, like, you have to be careful going to the store. Don't wear this certain
gotta
type
tell
of
them
clothes.
that
Don't wear a
anyway.
mask. Don't wear
It's
a
the earth.
hoodie. Please don't get stopped. We don't want that, and I don't want to feel a certain type of hate, a certain type of animosity for a different race because I feel like they get it easier than us. I don't want to feel like that. Nobody wants to feel like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why
That
can't we
animosity
just
she talking
work with
about
each
is
other?
real.
And
We
you
can.
know, and racism always have existed, but I feel like right now there's just a lot of tension.
Yo,
And
just Joe Biden.
we need
like,
somebody
does
to
he have like
clean
a
that.
saying?
I'm just so tired of it.
Because I
Well,
just
by
want
the
to say
way,
he can like he Obama.
You know, the country's been mourning. And what you're finding now is the vast majority of the American people understand what's going on. My mom used to have an expression.
I don't
She
know.
said, Joey, the
It's
greatest-
like what Denzel Washington said. Denzel Washington said, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch it, you're uninformed. So what do you do?
This virtue of all is courage. Because without courage, you couldn't love with abandon. And without courage, none of the other virtues would exist. It's time for some courage, and you're exercising it. You and other people of your stature who have millions of people who look to you. You're exercising courage. It's not easy for you to do this. You're going to get a lot of flack for the kinds of things you say. But you
You're
have
not
the
getting flack for
courage
this.
to stand up and say, now's the time.
This is
By
the
way,
popular thing
we're
to
going to
do.
have, if I get elected
That's
president,
why they're doing it.
free college education for 4 years of college, flat out. Anybody with a family less than 125 grand, you're going to get a free education. Everybody gets free education for community.
Nothing is free. You can't say free education. You can say it's going to be paid for by the government, which means that the tax dollars are going to pay for the education for a lot of kids who don't want to go get educated, who are going to go to college, use the tax money, and they're going to basically like, I don't know, like they're going to still be failing classes, cutting classes, but it's going to be on the bill of the government, which is on the bill of the people, which, I'm cool with it. Listen, everybody should have the chance to be educated, but you don't need to necessarily go to college to get educated. You could get educated right now here on YouTube.
College. Everybody wants to go on and become an apprentice, free.
Let me tell you about my
Apprentice.
college experience, right?
Yep.
I'm from New York, so when you're in high school or in middle school, they give you a free Metro card so you could travel, for you to be able to go to your school. And of course, they gave me free lunch. When I was in college, I had to get a job because I really needed $5 every single day to be able to go from Washington Heights to Chambers Street, and then I had to feed myself. Sometimes I had to wait. I had to wait from 1 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. That's my schedule to get home so I could be able to eat, because that whole time right there, I couldn't afford to go to McDonald's. I couldn't afford to go to any restaurants around Chambers Street on my break.
Yeah, that's the grind.
And you have to pay for lunch, the school lunch there. So I was just starving, and I just felt so discouraged. So I just feel like that is so important.
I like when she talk.
Like to finance.
I like when she talk about stuff like this, because it's more like this is what you really care about, like, and what you know about. Like, don't bring in things from the media where it's like they've been telling. Like, I want to hear people talk about their specific issues like this. You know what I'm saying?
Students while they're in college, because they get really discouraged. And that's what people want to know. People want to know, can you provide college education, this Medicare plan, without a big chunk of taxes coming out of our checks?
The way we can pay for all of this
Hold on, wait.
is doing
So you want free everything that you've been talking about this whole thing, healthcare, education, and you don't want the taxes to go up?
practical things, like making sure that no corporation making a profit should pay less than 15% tax on their profit.
Okay,
None.
let's tax the corporations
Zero.
then.
Everybody has to pay their fair share.
You tax the corporations, and then they just increase the price of the products, and they decrease the amount of money they pay the employees, and it just always gets passed down to the people. Because I'm telling you one thing now, like, the person with the money is the last person who's going to take the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a company, they're not gonna cut profits. They're gonna cut until their profits are the same, and the employees and everybody else is gonna take that loss.
Share. Thank you for your willingness to help. I promise
Let's see what he said.
I'll make mistakes as president, but I'll admit to the mistakes I make, and you're never going to have to wonder whether I'll keep my word.
All right.
Yeah, that's whatever. That was whatever. Wasn't that bad of a talk? I guess you got to say Cardi B talks, please, because it definitely was the conversation. She went off on her tangent. He went off on his tangent. They barely connected. As much as I think that he don't understand Cardi B's dialect, I don't think she understand his too much either. You know what I'm saying? She looked like she was zoning out. He looked like he was zoning out. You know what I mean? Equally, and this is what happens when you have two different like generations and class of people and all that sitting down for a talk. You know what I mean? But at least they were respectful to each other. And you know, the thing here is to try to Cardi's helping him to get in office. You know what I mean? Which is, I'm not sure about that, but it is what it is. Thanks for tuning in. Hope I gave y'all something extra to think about when you watch this. Peace and love. You know what I'm saying?